Okay, we're good. Hi. So hey guys, back with another video, but this video is not going to be on anything really politically related. This one's gonna be on a topic I hold very dearly to me, and it's something that I've been advocating for, and I have actually put a halt on it for a while due to a lot of negative comeback and criticism and opposition really that I was facing. But I decided, you know what, that's the whole point of advocating for change. You're gonna meet opposition, you're gonna meet negativity, and to hell with it, you know. I'm doing something to hope and to probably help change happen, and if it does, it does. So what I want to get into today is women's rights from a man's perspective. Essentially it is from my perspective, obviously, but I think we need to talk about this, because for women's rights to evolve and for it to develop and revolutionize, we as men, we as brothers need to understand why we need women's rights. And a lot of people come to me and be like, what do you mean why we need women's rights? Like, that's not even an issue and blah 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 blah. But we do, and a lot of our male population don't understand or never really took the time to sit down and speak about it. So this is, you know, I just wanted to shoot a video on something that, you know, I really advocate for on a general basis. And I would say, having done this research, it really opened again my eye more to why I needed to stick to this. So let's get into it. No, women's rights does not exist in a vacuum. It isn't something that exists by itself. It isn't a standalone issue. This issue is connected with every single thing in society. Is connected with every single event. It is connected with men's rights as well. Women's rights are not a standalone right. It is a worldly right, and it is a right that we all need to partake in, and I'll explain why. Without women, men, or even women, would not be here today. We'd not be living, we'd not be breathing, nothing like that. I'm just going to humor it up a little bit. Let's be pretty honest, we probably only have 3 names: Tom, Dick and Harry, because, you know, us guys not very innovative or creative when it comes to names. So we probably have like millions of us with Tom, Dick and Harry being our names. So women are way more creative than men are on a general basis. I'm not saying that men are not creative. We would not have or have had the level of education that we needed or have had in the past, and I'll explain why. Think about our fathers trying to sit down with us by the table, for those who had that kind of upbringing, and explain, okay, 2 plus 2 is 4, and not when you say 2 plus 2 and we come up with 10, the first thing we're gonna do is probably collect 1 clout. But no, the motherly figures, the mothers, the aunts, the sisters sat down with us and really toiled and pulled their hair out to help us men, who most times are hard-headed, testify as to, alright, well, okay, 2 plus 2 is not 10, 2 plus 2 is 4, and probably taught us that like 10, 20 times over and over and over. Also, women would have zero game. Most men already have zero game, but we would actually have a lot less, because let's face it, men are totally clueless when it comes to romance with women, and without a woman telling us, well, what to do, how to do it, it's not gonna happen. let's just be really honest, guys. Like, romance is a whole other sector that I'm not really even gonna touch on, because that's a whole video by itself. But anyways, seriously though, why is this even an issue? Why is women's rights even an issue? Why is this something that we need to debate? Is it because we as men have this compulsive desire to control or be in control all the time, and this is what we learned from our parents and from generations before? What causes us as humans to want to keep down another race or another gender? Why do we want to suppress our women? Why do we not want to uplift them? And in uplifting them, they would help uplift us as well. So who do you think is the dominant gender or the dominant sex, and why? It is in my opinion that I believe both are dominant, and we cannot fight for equality of rights. And I would explain why we cannot fight for equality of rights. It is because women will never be equal to men. You can think what you want to think about it, women will never be equal to men. When you think of equality, you think of sameness. You think about like versus like, orange versus oranges, apples versus apples, right? You can't compare apple and a banana. Two different fruits. However, what we need to fight for is justice for women. And there was this example that we got in school actually, and it was very, very simplistic, and it really helped me understand the concept a lot more. Think about three guys, a short one, a medium height one, and a tall one, and they're trying to look over a fence, a wooden fence, to see a football game going on. The tall guy can see over, the average guy can barely see over, you know, he's tiptoeing, and the short guy, you know, he can't see shit, right? So picture that. When you think about equality, you think about, okay, you give three of them three same boxes of the same height. The short guy still can't see over the fence. The average height guy he could see over the fence a little better, and the tall guy, well, he was seeing quite fine, so he's just, you know, up in the clouds. But when we talk about justice, we look at the fact of, okay, we give the short guy the tallest box, allow him to see over the fence. We give the medium height guy a medium sized box to make sure they are the same height, and we give the tallest guy, he may not even need a box, but if he does, it's a small box just to be comfortably over the fence. That is what I think justice is, and this is why I say we need to fight for justice for women's rights, not for equality for women's rights. No, this is how we need to view rights. And yeah, I mean, yeah, saying fighting for equality of rights sounds much nicer than fighting for justice of rights, but the needs of women are entirely different from those of a man, albeit physical, mental. We very rarely have the same needs. Yes, we are humans and we breathe and we eat and whatever, but the needs of a woman is very different to the needs of a man. And life is a balance, right? For every yin there must be a yang. What goes up must come down, and for every masculine aspect there must be a feminine aspect, and that is the balance of life. So yes, men need to have feminine aspects as well, without feeling judged by society, which we all know every single individual is guilty for, because the first thing you do when you see a guy who displays a bit of a feminine quality, which isn't a bad thing, but it isn't the tough, macho, toxic mentality of what a man should be, the first thing someone jumps out and be like, oh, he gay. But no. And you see it a lot, not only in fellas but with ladies doing this condemning as well. So that's something we need to be mindful of. So you know what that starts with? It starts with double standards, and this is something that really bothers me to my core, because it's something I see in daily life, it's something I have experienced in daily life, and it really is something that we need to work on. That a woman cannot do what a man does. But wait, ladies, don't get on a high horse yet, because the same applies to the standard that you hold men to, right? Which is highly pressuring and highly unreasonable to men, right? We don't expect you to go and slave in the kitchen and make roti and whatever 3 times a day. The same way we're not expected to be able to physically actually build a house, right? So not because it's gone on for generations, and not because fathers and uncles and aunts were the sole providers of a household means that, okay, this is what was right. No, that is what happened at the time. So whatever a man can do, a woman could do twice as good. And that's me talking from personal experience. Like, it's absolutely amazing to see a lot of female people in my life perform their duties and perform actions, and I sat down there as a guy looking at it. I was like, whoa, I wish I could do it like half as good as that. Yeah, you might call me lazy or whatever, but they really do take pride and take joy in a lot of things that they do that a lot of guys don't really, you know, put a lot of effort into. So that's one thing. And then whatever a man can do, whatever a woman can do, a man can do as well. Now that goes to say that some men can do certain things better than some women, and some women can do certain things better than some men. But the only thing that a man cannot do that a woman can do is give birth, right? That is the only physical thing that is actually impossible for a man to do that a woman can do. And which leads me to my main point in this entire video. Our women are the trees of life of humanity, which should be cared, nurtured, and allowed to blossom ever so brightly, for their existence lay on their shoulders. Now, I just like to coin that statement because it took me a long while to come up with that, and I felt a little proud about it. But think about it. If women are the trees of humanity that we need for life to continue and for life to exist, why are they even fighting for women's rights? Like, why should this even be an issue? Like, we need women more than women need men, you know what I mean? So that is a non-debatable issue in my mind, but apparently it's a big deal, and this is a big topic on the forefront. So I just have some issues here that women face from my point of view. Wage gaps and work discrimination, proportional representation issues, sexual discrimination, violence. They lack proper care and consideration in a lot of aspects, and gender bias, right? Now, there are tons of other issues that women face, but these are just the ones I'd be touching on. Now, I wouldn't be able to actually, as a person, relate to these issues because I am not a woman and I have never been discriminated in the workplace. I've never been sexually discriminated against. So women, like, I would appeal to any woman that's watching this video to hit me up, message me, and let's actually come together and, you know, start putting testimonies out there as to towards men, as to what women go through, as to how general actions of men, you know, catcalling, etc., is something that should be frowned upon and something that should not be done. So let's get into it. Wage gaps and work discrimination. So for the naysayers, explain to me why, according to a 2017 statistic based on Fortune magazine, only 6.4% of companies, of the Fortune 500 companies, are run by women. This statistic is for those men, or those even women, who don't think that women's rights are important and we don't need them. 6.4%. No, percent out of 100, right? Just let me get that straight. 6.4%. Why is this? Like, I don't understand. Why is this? Why as women try to climb the corporate ladder and the social ladder, they lose their sense of femininity, they lose their sense of womanhood, essentially, and begin to subscribe to more manly aspects, more manly ways, more manly figures. What that tells me actually is that for a woman to become successful, she needs to become a man, which is absolutely absurd. Why must a woman become a man to become successful? Is it only men are allowed to become successful? I don't understand that, because to me is that we cannot seem to grasp the concept that femininity, feminine beauty, and intelligence can go hand in hand, right? Oh, of course she's beautiful, so she can't be smart at the same time. Like, what's the odds in that? That's a sin. That's never gonna happen. So that's what these figures are actually telling me, and these figures have grown exponentially over the past couple of years. So imagine this is the inflated figure. Imagine what it was in the past. Like, you really don't want to know. And on top of that, when she does subscribe to her feminine attributes, and she wears a skirt, or she wears a properly fitting blouse, etc., as the case may be, then she's subjected to sexual harassment in the workplace by weak-minded men who act like they've never seen a pair of tits before, quite frankly. And I really don't understand that issue. There's the whole issue with breastfeeding in public. Like, you've never seen a pair of tits in your life, but yet still this is the same thing you run down on a daily basis. This exactly here is my problem. Why is it that women aren't just allowed to be, not to be a certain way, just to be? Same way us men are just allowed to be. We don't have to be a certain way, we just are allowed. And it's the same thing that I don't understand, why women have to go through this filter, I guess, or need to change themselves to go forward in their career, etc. We as men never treat our mothers the way we treat our wives. We would never treat our daughters the way we treat women on the streets. So we as men, and this is just my opinion, we as men need to hold our brothers more accountable for the way they treat women, instead of turning a blind eye and being, well, I don't know about that, now that's not my business. You should be on the entire reason, and the whole reason of, oh well, don't do it because she's someone's daughter or because she's a mother, is absolutely stupid. That like boils my blood to a whole nother level, because she is human. She feels, she hurts, she thinks, she responds as any human being would. So the fact that most people compare her to, oh, she's a sister, to have some sort of relevance there, that is absolute bullshit, and I am sorry. That really boils my blood. She is a human being. She will feel hurt, she will think things. Why should she have to go through this for just being herself? And this is where I think us men have a part to play in women's rights. Like, we need to really talk to our brothers who are a bit ignorant of the fact of what's going on and say, listen, you know, that's not right to do, you shouldn't be doing that. And most times when a guy talks to the next guy, he would probably listen and he'd be like, okay, but you know, if a woman scolds a guy for it, he would probably hate women even more. Who knows? So it's just something that, you know, I thought I'd mention. So that being said, now we have wage gaps. It is my opinion, if it takes a man 2 minutes to peel a basket of oranges, and it takes a woman the same 2 minutes to complete the same task of peeling that basket of oranges, there's absolutely no justifiable reason as to why she should be paid any less whatsoever. That should be a general rule of thumb. Every public and private enterprise should have that as some sort of legislation in the operation of their company, and if we don't, we need to start implementing that a lot more. It's really beyond me as to why we have all these attorneys in Parliament who sit in Parliament, and there's no Trinidadian charter for women's rights. And don't tell me we subscribe to CEDAW. And for those of you who don't know what CEDAW is, it's the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women that was ratified in 2016. Don't tell me we ascribe to CEDAW, because evidently it is, yeah, okay, we sign on to this UN convention of CEDAW, but where does it show? What do we do with it? It is frustrating, to say the least. And if it's frustrating to me as a man who this really has no bearing on, and take that term loosely when I say no bearing, I'm not subjected to these things. I could just imagine how the female population feels. And where are the women's rights groups in Trinidad? Like, I hear so much about this woman's arm and that woman's arm and this woman's arm, commenting on such petty and nonsensical issues. Where are they when we need them to do what they need to do? Right now, I said earlier, we ascribe to CEDAW. Now, being signatory to the treaty is one thing, but it's just paper rights. As far as I'm concerned, how do we access the rights of CEDAW, rights enshrined in CEDAW? How are we allowed to access? How as women are they allowed to access it? Right? Where's your protection? Like, how are you gonna be protected? And if you tell me equal opportunities tribunal, just switch off my video one time, don't listen to me, and just unfriend me on Facebook or something, because that is the biggest waste of time ever created. It is disturbing how wasteful that is. So I'm gonna read a little statistic here for you based on our Equal Opportunities Tribunal, right? Based on a 2011 report, which is the only report I found available. I think we're in 2018, right? But anyways, 2011. Areas of complaints, they're broken down into 3 categories. 12 complaints in employment, 4 complaints in education, 2 complaints for offensive behavior. Status of conciliated cases. Awaiting agreements, 1. Final agreement, 6. Settled informally, 3. No cases that achieve no resolution, 9. And complaints before the tribunal, none. Absolutely 0. You know my sentiments on the Equal Opportunity Tribunal, so I'm not even gonna get back into it. So to every woman's arm in Trinidad and Tobago, this is me personally telling every single one of you, you're a joke and you have failed tremendously to protect women and the rights of women in Trinidad and Tobago. This is a man telling women's rights groups how to protect women. Tell me, what is the, how ironic is that? Or not even ironic, how sad is that that a male individual needs to tell groups that are formed for the purpose of protecting women how to protect women? What shit. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And to every single women's rights group in Trinidad and Tobago, you're a waste of time. Absolute waste of time. Which ties, all this ties into proportional representation. Our next topic at hand: violence. According to data from the Crime and Problems Analysis, the CAPA, of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Force, 11,441 reports relating to domestic violence between 2010 and 2015. 75% of those reports were female. 75%, 3/4 of those reports were female individuals. And for the same period of 2010 to 2015, the deaths related to domestic violence, of which were 131 deaths, 56% were female. A little more than half were female. So if that doesn't tell you the violence and the issues that women are subjected to, I don't know what again is going to tell you that. We have a couple numbers short of 500,000, 498,009 females over the age of 18 years in Trinidad's population, which is almost 500,000, right? Of which the TTPS, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and the National Domestic Violence Hotline revealed 80% of reports relate to female victims. 80%. Now this is appalling, and the fact of the matter is that women deal with these things. These are just reported cases. What about the cases that are not reported, which I am quite sure is twice the amount of those that are reported? It takes a lot of guts and a lot of mental strength and capacity to report such incidents, right? What about the individuals who don't have that and who feel fearful and feel victimized and feel the victimization, which I am quite sure is twice the amount as reported? So imagine the amount of women that are being affected by this on a daily basis, and you're telling me that not a single women's rights group can stand up and try to lobby legislation and to lobby change as to what we need in terms of rights and actual protection of rights? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. What is being done to address these issues? Where are all these groups, and why are they not placing pressure on the government and lobbying for certain pieces of legislation? There are so many female attorneys. Do not tell me that we do not have attorneys to lobby these legislations. And you don't even need to be an attorney. Find a friend who is a female attorney and say, listen, these are things that are affecting the female population, and create a group, come together and start doing something. Because you do not fight for yourself, nobody's going to fight for you. And there's only so much we as individual, puts it across to me, as armchair activists, is only so much that we can do for just highlighting the issues. Like, yes, we want to be there and we want to help, but we will highlight the issues, but you all need to take a stand. And yes, men need to be part of this as well and help women to take a stand on this issue. These statistics are absolutely depressing, and to be honest, it gave me a headache when I was doing it, and it gives me a headache again right now. So for how long and how much longer must we as men and must women watch their sisters, and us as brothers watch our sisters suffer for heinous crimes, suffer for just being themselves, just suffer on the whole? For how long? it is shameful. It is, I am honestly at a loss of words, and if you know me, I'm not one to be at a loss of words very often. I actually talk more than I'm supposed to. But guys, at the end of the day, I'm trying to just pinpoint every single guy out there. We all are humans. We all have female relatives, and we would never really want to see anything happen to anybody, male or female. But try and take a stand. Try and understand what it is the female population goes through, and no matter what criticism or critiques people throw at you, no matter what they tell you, do what in your heart you think is right. Each one of us are born with a moral compass, and I think once we follow that compass and we help one another to do what's best for society and do what's best for everybody, I think we would really begin to develop and change. So with that being said, there's a couple other things I wanted to point out, but I'm not going to point it out. Those facts just kind of have me a bit on edge. But that is what I came up with. I didn't really want to talk about anything political. You know, I know most of you aren't really into the politics. It's something that I enjoy very much, as a passion of mine, but I know a lot of you don't enjoy it. So this is something I think that really affects everybody, and for the longest while I really took a break from this issue, and I think it's time that we all start back fighting for this issue. So with that being said, guys, any questions you want to ask, or any information you want to give, any testimonies you want to give and you want to get out there as a woman, and things that you all face, you know,